Say hello to Sebastian. I am live on my daily walk and I thought I'd check in with you guys to see how you're all doing and give you some thoughts on achieving your goals. It's something that I'm very passionate about because I have big goals that I want to achieve and goals that I have achieved, and I think if you're watching this video or if you have an issue, you have a goal to let go of an issue. If you have a dream of some sort, you want to get something. So whether you want to let go of anything, whether you want to achieve anything, that is a goal in my book. That's like a desire in mind. So are you ready to talk about achieving a goal? Whether it be a goal in the physical sense or in a spiritual sense or even in letting go of an issue sense. So, first of all, I'd like to welcome you to this video cast, and if you're liking these, go ahead and click the share button so other people can get this message as well, because there might be someone in your life that you would like to be able to help them achieve their goal. So let's go straight to it. And also, by the way, if you're liking this, send me a comment, leave something, ask me a question soon, and I hope to answer them as quickly as I can about the subject of achieving goals. So the first thing we have to get clear on is what is the best way of achieving a certain goal. Because many people, one of the pitfalls of having a goal is that obviously it's not in your reality, and therefore you can feel scarcity, you can feel as if it's too far away. What if you don't get it, like the fear of failure, or even the fear of actually achieving the goal. So we have to get our mind into the appropriate place in order to achieve that goal. So if you have a goal in mind, notice how achievable it seems to you. Now, if you say out of 10 you think you can absolutely get that goal, without a doubt, there's no fear, no worry, no doubt about anything, say that would be a 10. Or if you go, well, when I think of that goal, Joseph, I kind of feel a 1 out of this because there's a big part of me thinking that it's way too out of my reach. So what if my goal seems impossible? That's what Caroline just said, and that's exactly what I mean. So it can feel completely out of reach of achieving our goal. So Caroline, if that's the case, we have to do a couple of things. If it feels as if it's impossible or out of our reach, it will actually turn you off the goal. You'll not want to be able to get that goal because it has fear to it. It feels like, I just can't do that. And the best way to achieve a goal then would be to break it down into something smaller. Now, my analogy for this, Caroline, is imagine if you have a hot tub. Okay, and imagine you're in that hot tub and it's just your comfort zone. It just feels comfortable, just the perfect temperature. But when you think of your goal, that would be another hot tub, which would be boiling hot. And you would think, if you were to step into that, you'd be like, oh, I don't want to be there. And you'd jump straight back out into the original hot tub because that was your comfort zone. Now, if we were to say create another 7 or so hot tubs, each one progressively getting warmer and warmer, you'd be able to hop into the one which is slightly warmer and get used to that temperature. Then you'd be able to, after a period of time, jump into the next one which is even slightly warmer, because you'll be getting used to it each step of the way until you progress to the very hottest one, and it will feel far easier to get into that hot tub because you've done that gradual step along the way. So in other words, if you have a big goal but you feel is impossible from where you presently are, you have to set up some smaller goals that allow you to move on with each and every moment. So each one allows you to progress. So yes, you may have that big goal in mind, but think about things and go, okay, so how can I achieve a goal, like an intermediate step that will allow you to move on to the next thing. So if it was to earn $10,000 a month, and you felt that was out of reach, you'd go, okay, I'm going to set up a goal of earning just an extra $500. Now, when you think of that goal, you think, I could actually probably go for something like that. So then you'd go for that and achieve it. That now starts to build in belief that you can actually go for what you want. And then you'd up it to, say, $750 per month. And then you keep on progressing, like the hot tub metaphor, until you begin to build so much belief that will allow you to actually move forward. So that is one way of progressing with your goal when it comes to feeling like it's impossible, Carolyn. You just keep on creating some smaller goals and building up to it. Now, the other part is, some people get so obsessed when it comes to goals that you actually can self-sabotage. Now, self-sabotage to goals is very, very big, because unconsciously we may be self-sabotaging ourselves. So let's say, for example, you want to be a celebrity. That's a great one, because I want all that financial freedom, I want that celebrity and fame. But what is a downside to being a celebrity? Maybe you have an invasion of privacy. Maybe your friends and relationships change because you attract new people. Maybe your closest friends get jealous or ask for money. And obviously it takes away your freedom, as I just said. And you're noticed everywhere. And after a while, you might be thinking, actually, I don't really like to be a celebrity. So your mind unconsciously, if you think of a goal, could be self-sabotaging itself to achieving a goal. Now, it does it to try to protect you, because if it was a celebrity goal, or being a celebrity, your mind is saying, well, if you achieve this, you're going to lose so much privacy. You're going to change your whole situation. You might get dropped the next day. And unconsciously, you'll be self-sabotaging yourself. So if that's the case, we have to become at peace with it. So you get to write down all the drawbacks of achieving your goal. When you write down all the drawbacks, all the things that you will lose, because every goal you will lose something in some way, even something good or bad, you then start to become at peace with those goals, or with those drawbacks. When you become at peace with those drawbacks, you will start to unconsciously begin to manifest it, because it's not actually stopping you anymore. It's almost like you're telling your unconscious mind that actually it's okay to get this goal because I've come up with certain ways of dealing with those drawbacks, or you become at peace with them. So that's another great way when you think of your goals. Now, another tip is, when it comes to achieving goals, is we can get fixated by the physical aspect of that goal, which means that you might be wanting something so much that you'll be missing out on something even better. Say, for example, you want a car, you want a certain type of car, and that's exactly the one car that you want. But if you just go for that car, it might actually hold you back to a point where you're so fixated that you're forgetting all the other opportunities. So when it comes to your goal, everybody, what I would do is think of the thing that you want to achieve, and then notice the feeling it gets you or gives you when you think about having achieved it. So if it was that car, you could say, well, it gives me freedom, and I really want freedom. Or if it's a relationship, it could be, well, I want this person just like Brad Pitt, and that means I'll get love, and that means love would be it. So what you have to do is just focus on the feeling around that goal. Allow that goal to be the motivator, because that means you will start to project that value and that feeling, which will then be lined up with whatever the goal may be. So sometimes it's actually good to not pay attention to the actual physical goal, but instead focus on the feeling it gives you. Then your unconscious mind will find the most closest thing to that. So that's another great way. So I'm going to read a few of these comments right now. Let's see. I'm struggling with feelings of inadequacy because I'm too nervous. Okay, so Rob, struggling with feelings of incompetence and inadequacy. I'm inadequate at saying that word. So the best thing to do there is take a look at my self-worth and self-confidence hypnosis trade. I've got some free ones on there. That's going to really help. And also, lots of YouTube videos on confidence, one of the subjects I'm really kind of keen on. So please just search online. That'll be the best way of getting the instant help that you may need. So someone else said, I love that you're physically active and doing this for us, but any chance you can stop when you're recording your video? It's hard to watch. Just like this, you mean? Okay, so I can't on this one because I've got little Sebastian here, but I will do others when I'm not on my walk. The only problem is I am very focused with my work, and it's a bit hard to be able to do other things. But I will do my best to make time for you guys to be able to do that. What if you feel that my friends and family get in the way of achieving your goal? We could be excused, but sometimes it's very real when you're in a relationship and you got bills to pay, and you still want to go for your goals, but they cost money to achieve in the first place. Well, it really depends on your goal there. But with all my goals, I always started small. I did not have all the financial resources whatsoever, and I actually had people in my life, my friends, who didn't believe in my goals. But I did it anyway because I realized that this is my life and I can't live it for other people. But when I'm being the best me I can possibly be, and that is going for my goal, they will start to see the rewards of that, of you being happy, in other words. So it can take time. But at the end of the day, you have to go for exactly what you want and just stick at that, really. And when it comes to your friends and family, obviously you can't always not be around them. So instead, you add more people into your life who actually will give you value to achieve those goals. I call it like a mastermind group. I'm actually a part of a mastermind group myself where I work with other entrepreneurs, and we generate ideas and we keep each other motivated, and that's an amazing thing to do. And it doesn't mean you have to pay for a mastermind group, but you actually just really find people of a like mind, like goals, especially those who have achieved the goals that you want, and begin to model them and really hang around with those. And they say you are the sum of the 5 closest people in your life, and if those 5 closest people in your life aren't giving you the value, go ahead and add more people into your life, which will give you that motivation, which will give you that inspiration, and that's going to really help there. So sometimes it is about just going for what you want and being authentic so your friends and family can see you the most happiest, whilst also, Timmy, to really surround yourself with the like-minded people. That's probably one of the best ways. So Jude said, hey Jude, by the way, I study positive thinking and I'm a counselor, yet despite my clear understandings of how my beliefs and thoughts create my reality, I am struggling due to extraordinary difficulties in my family relationships. So with that one, Jude, just one second, let me read it again. Oh, thank you, Timmy. That was a great question. Yet, despite my clear understanding of how my beliefs and thoughts create my reality, I'm struggling due to extraordinary difficulties in my family relationships. Okay, so we can have as much conscious awareness of our goals. And you know what? We know a lot of this stuff, right? We know about reality. We know about the unconscious mind. But it's another thing getting it to work for us, Jude. So what we have to do is prioritize our time a little bit more. So if we're having stress in our life, that can take away from our beliefs or from going for our goal and doing what we really want to do or to work on ourselves. So you have to prioritize your time to work on yourself. So that would mean daily doing a habitual practice. So like, for example, this morning I worked out and then I meditated. Today it was only for like 15 minutes, but it was my quiet space where I can reflect on what's happening and learn from my day before and project what I want to happen in my day today. And because of that, it sets up your day a little bit more. So giving yourself more time is very, very powerful. It's like almost when you're on a plane and you see those emergency things in case of emergency. It says if you're with children, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before your children. because you are the most important thing, and if you don't have air or oxygen, you can't help your children in that situation. Now, if we take that analogy and metaphor, we have to put the oxygen on ourselves before we can actually assist our friends and family, before we can do that. When we're becoming the best us, we will actually be far better when it comes to our family relationships. So I really advise taking time out with yourself daily to journal, to have a gratitude list, to consider the beliefs. And you have limiting beliefs, ask yourself, how does this belief serve me right now? What's the positive intention? So if it wasn't good enough, then if I didn't believe I was good enough, it would be a protection mechanism of some sort, because in case I fell, I don't want to look stupid and so on. So I think about what's the positive intention behind that limiting belief I have about myself, and in the context of goals or whatever it may be, then ask, what do I need to learn which once learned will allow me to let go and be safer? Meditate on that. Listen to some calming music and just consider, what can I learn from this which once learned will allow me to be safer and free of this issue? So that's going to be a great way of doing that as well. So like I said, prioritizing, listening to hypnosis, and meditating and things like that. So I hope that helped. I'll try and add a bit more in the comments section on that one. So Stephen says, how do I align my vibration with my goal? To be honest, that's very simple, but sometimes very hard, Stephen. So it all goes back to what I was saying earlier. I don't know if you were there watching, but it goes down to not what you do, but what you feel. So feelings are the things which we really achieve our goals. So imagine yourself like a radio, okay? And we have to think, what are we tuning into? If I think about my goals, it has a certain frequency or energy. But what is my present energy? Is it tapping into the same frequency? Because if my frequency was different to what my goal was, so let's say if I wanted, I'm in Texas, so I'm going to say like some kind of, maybe some country music, like some kind of Texas, I don't even know much Texas music, to be honest. I've been to a few cool awesome bars though. Let's say Austin, because that's like a real cool place. You're going to, you want that real cool band that you want to be able to see and you want to experience, and you're tuning into that radio station, but you're actually moving your fingers and dialing into, say, a heavy metal station. Now, there's no way you're going to tune in on the radio if you're actually dialed into another station. So let's put in the context of that, that if your feelings do not match your goal, then you will not be in the vibration of your goal. I've always said, and I can't remember what I heard this, but it's pretty much like this. What you want wants you. Okay, I'll say it again. Whatever you want wants you. But we have to match the vibration of that. So if that vibration is, say, abundance, or say it was a goal for money, what is the vibration we need? Maybe it is abundance, or imagine what would that money give me, and then we tap into that feeling as much as possible. It reminds me of a quote by Neville Goddard, and he said, assume the feeling of having achieved your goal and then act upon it with conviction. So we assume the feeling of having achieved it, which makes us dial in as a radio station. Dials us in, and therefore we are in resonance with that goal. We're in total alignment, as well as, Stephen, if you listen to the beginning part, I was talking about letting go of self-sabotage as well. That could be a clear one, and the steps along the way. Because if you have a big goal, the vibration that you attach to it could be, I'm not going to get this. It's scarcity or doubt. So we figure out smaller steps, smaller goals, which once you achieve that smaller step, you will feel more vibrancy, you'll feel more self-worth, you'll feel more confident about getting the next goal and the next goal until you get your true goal, because your vibrations are building up each along the way. Okay, so Mike says, if you start to think about positive goals, it seems like the good people come into your life and not so good folks come distance automatically. That's a great question, observation. I agree. Once you change yourself, you change your reality. So, Caroline, Joe, thank you so much for internet's lagged and missed the last bit. Oh, don't worry about that. It will be, you can just replay this if you like. How do you eliminate negative thoughts? That's a great one. So usually our negative thoughts are created by limiting beliefs. So our thoughts are generated by thoughts and feelings, let's add feelings, are usually generated by limiting beliefs. So the limiting belief of not being good enough will create negative thoughts. So we have to think about, when I think of these thoughts, what belief do I have about myself? If you focus on letting go of the limiting belief, you will actually really start to make a real great change. So I would focus on letting go of limiting beliefs. And I've got some YouTube videos about limiting beliefs, and that's going to be far easier and far more in depth. So if you just go to my YouTube channel, which is Joseph Clough Hypnosis, so that's double H for Joseph and then Joseph Clough, sorry, which is a H at the end, and then Hypnosis, you'll be able to find that. Okay, so what are your, I've got loads of questions in. Catherine said, just want to share a good story. After 20 years, my goal of to sell my house and buy a condo near the beach and have no mortgage, and I finally made it. I listen to your transformation hypnosis every night. That's awesome. Oh, I've got a bug on me. That is absolutely awesome. That's so cool that you're doing that. So, perfect example there of what you can do, and you put your mind to it. Your thoughts, your feelings create things. Everything around us is energy. Our thoughts are energy. The car, the house, little Sebastian, we're all energy vibrating. And we have to match our vibration to what we want. Whatever you want wants you. So match that vibration as if you're tuning into the radio station of your choice. Act upon it with conviction. So assume the feeling. Yes, Diane, I am live. I am live right now, but it is getting dark. It was light when I started. For 22 minutes now, so I will get on to doing more of these tomorrow. Let's make a time for tomorrow that we can do that. Usually I go for the walk around 5, 6 p.m. Central Time in America, but this was a late one. So, yeah, I'm going to have to finish now, but if you have any more questions, leave them in the comments and I'll try to direct you to the right thing. So have the most wonderful day, guys, and I will speak to you soon. Many thanks and goodbye.